Her assistants are Ms. Milagros Leonardo and Mr. Mark Sorrow. The fourth official is Ms. Katya Koroleva.
Falls for Carly Lloyd on her left. Sensational goal.
Gonna go. Keeper's out. That's empty. LaRue. U.S. leads.
It's offside. It's Raquel. Stopped again by Solo. Womack. Goal number 159. It's the international scoring record. And the U.S. begins this journey to the 2015 World Cup.
And welcome into an unusually cold and wet Georgia Dome in beautiful downtown Atlanta, Georgia, where the snow is trying to melt and the inclement weather is hopefully on the way out as the U.S. and Russia tangle for the second time in the past 5 days. Thanks for joining us here on USsoccer.com. I'm Justin Hanover. Just last Saturday, Tom Sermanni's top-ranked Stars and Stripes had their way with Sergei Lavrentiev's 21st-ranked Russian squad 7-0 down at Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton. Carly Lloyd, Kristen Press led the way, each netted a pair of goals, and Heather O'Reilly, Sydney LaRue, and Abby Wambach chipped in as well. Wambach, incidentally, her world record 164th tally. The teams will start fresh today. In this second friendly, the Americans look to extend the gaudy 41-match overall unbeaten streak, as well as the 79-match unbeaten run on home soil, while improving to 7-0-1 in this series. Russia, meanwhile, you see them, they'll look to have a better showing today. They were in Group C at last summer's UEFA World Championship, finishing a respectable third in the group after that 3-1 loss to France and a couple of 1-1 draws against both England and Spain. The visitors so far 1-1 in World Cup qualifying. They lost 9-0 at the hands of FIFA's second-ranked team in Germany and a 2-0 victory over Slovakia. The Georgia Dome seats 80,000 fans, built in 1992, a state-of-the-art field, artificial surface, the home of the Atlanta Falcons, the SEC Football Championship, the Super Bowl, the Final Four, Chick-fil-A Bowl, Kickoff Classic, the Georgia State Panthers, and a plethora of soccer games, including coming up in just a month from now, some more soccer action. We're going to send it to the public address announcer, Paul Marsteller, for the starting lineups.
Number 19, Ksenia Saipatovic. In goal, number 12, Maria Zhamanakova. Number 3, Valentina Orlova. Number 4, Svetlana Sitsikova. Number 7, Ekaterina Nitrenko. Number 10, Elena Terakova. Number 13, Alla Sidorovskaya. Number 17, Ekaterina Manyukina. Number 18, Elena Medved. Number 20, Eli Orovkin. Number 23, Elena Moroskova. The head coach is Sergei Lavrentiev. And now, tonight's starting lineup for the United States of America. The head coach is Mr. Tom Sermanni. Team captain, number 20, Abby Wambach. In goal, number 1, Hope Solo. Number 5, from Fayetteville, Georgia, Kelly O'Hara. Number 6, Whitney English. Number 8, Amy Rodriguez. Number 9, Heather O'Reilly. Number 10, Carly Lloyd. Number 11, Alan Krieger. Number 15, Megan Rapino. Number 16, Rachel Van Holladay. Number 25, Morgan Ryan. Ladies and gentlemen, your United States women's national team.
And now let's send it down to the national anthems from both countries.
Followed by the national anthem of the United States of America.
The teams will shake hands, the first match ever in the city of Atlanta for the U.S. women's national team. 7-0 all-time in the state of Georgia, but they have never played in Atlanta. In that first game on Saturday, the United States with a dominating performance, 7-0 at Florida Atlantic University. They outshot the Russians 32-3, shots on goal 18-1, corner kicks in favor of the Americans 13-2. Carly Lloyd started off the scoring in the 29th minute on a feed from Heather O'Reilly. It snowballed from there for the Americans. O'Reilly would net one. Lloyd, the Budweiser Woman of the Match, would net her second for a 3-0 halftime advantage. Then Kristen Press, she would have a couple. Sydney LaRue, Abby Wambach was in there as well. 6-0-1 all-time, the U.S. against Russia. 30th year of competition for the Americans. Both teams are going to come out playing a 4-4-2. You heard Hope Solo in goal, 138 career starts. The four fullbacks, Ali Krieger had an assist against Russia the other day. Whitney Engen, WPS Defender of the Year. Rachel Van Hollebeck. If you don't know her, you really do, because she is Rachel Bueller. Married in 2012, finally using her new name. 109 caps to boot. Kelly O'Hara, what a great story. Welcome back, Kelly. From Fayetteville, Georgia, about a half hour away, Stars Mill High School. She was a Panther, 4-year All-State player, 2-year All-American player, out with that major ankle injury. A real good story to see number 5 back in there. When she was injured, she would go to practice in tears knowing the pain she would be in after a training session. She's healthy and she is ready to go. Also in the midfield, Heather O'Reilly, 38 career international goals. Morgan Bryan, the Herman Trophy winner in 2013. Carly Lloyd, Budweiser Woman of the Match, 48 international goals, had a pair in that last one. Megan Rapinoe started all 6 games in the 2012 Olympics. Amy Rodriguez, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and Abby Wambach. You know about her, 164 goals, the most ever, and 42% have come with her head. So both teams come out in that 4-4-2. 6 substitutes, Abby Wambach being one of them from that game on Saturday. On the bench, Sydney Leroux, Christy Rampone, Becky Sauerbrunn, Lauren Holiday, Christy Mewis, Jill Lloyden, and Kristen Press. Russia, they're going to change their goalkeeper. Maria Zhamenakova, she's in there. No Elvira Tadua. Valentina Orlova in the back, had a red card in that last match. Katerina Dimitrenko, she had a yellow. Elena Medved, Ksenia Tsibunovic, and we are underway. The Russians trying to go up top, and nothing cooking. So a couple of seconds in, the U.S. will have a goal kick to round out Russia. On the back line, their captain, the central defender, Ksenia Tsibunovic. In the midfield, Svetlana Tsidakova, Alla Sidorovskaya, Nelly Korovkina, Elena Morozova. She's been a member of this team since 2004. And Katerina Pantiukina, she's a 20-year-old, and Elena Terakova. Not in the starting lineup, from Portland, Oregon, and goes to the University of Pennsylvania. Number 14 on Russia, Anastasia Shevchenko. The U.S. in that first match, the bulk of the possession, somewhere between 75 and 80%. Remember, they were not able to break through, though, for the first 29 minutes. And one of their goals coming in, their coach Tom Sermani said, try and get on the board a little bit sooner here on the break. And that's going to lead to the first corner kick for the United States. We'll see Megan Rapinoe coming over to take that. Amy Rodriguez was going deep to try and convert. Rodriguez with FC Kansas City. Had a baby boy last August. Something us men don't know much about, trying to come back from giving birth. And the referee lining them up. Here's Rapinoe. Set in with a head, the little cheeky bicycle. Nothing doing, but a good little piece early on. Your referees, Melissa Paula Borjas Pastrana from Honduras. She's in the center. Milagros Leonardo from the Dominican is AR1. Mark Sorrow from right here in Georgia, AR2. And the fourth official also for the United States, Katya Koroleva. There's Van Hollebeck. She goes up that right side. And that's out of bounds for a Russia throw-in. So nothing much doing early on, a couple of minutes in. Rodriguez with that little flick. Still the possession early on in favor of the United States. Ali Krieger, she played in that last match, had an assist. Trying to go forward. We'll see how Russia plays this. You lose 7-0, you play the same team again. You've got to change some things up. So what will they change up? We'll see how this game progresses. Deep in U.S. territory. Krieger forced back out up that right side. Good job by Heather O'Reilly. So stellar. The first 30 minutes on Saturday, completely doing whatever she wanted down that right side. Marina Pushkareva not in the match tonight, but boy, oh boy, she had a lot of issues with Heather O'Reilly. O'Reilly, a former North Carolina Tar Heel, won the 2003 National Championship. North Carolina, talk about dominance, outscoring their opponents 32-0 in that run to the title. U.S. the bulk of the possession once again. Wambach. Russians in midfield. Elena Morozova, you've got to watch out for number 23. Had a goal against Slovakia, the lone goal in their 2-0 World Cup qualifying win. And yes, I say the lone goal as the Slovaks had an own goal. Coming down the right side, the cross, and that's gobbled up by the keeper in Zhamenakova. Again, she's replacing Elvira Tadua, who actually did a pretty good job allowing 7 goals, but not bad at all in that last game, making a couple of saves, which could have had it worse. Rodriguez with that last cross for the Americans. There's Krieger again. Plays it up to O'Reilly. Russians win that back. Sidakova. Medved, that's stolen away. Krieger. The referee calls a foul. You see Morozova, scrappy little player. I mentioned earlier, a member of the national team since 2004. She's just 26 years of age. Came in here at a very young age. Krieger on that foul. Very hard-nosed player is Ali Krieger. Sent in. Americans play it out. That back line just phenomenal. And not able to connect. Had a run potentially up that right side. Heather O'Reilly streaking, but the pass too far behind. You see Carly Lloyd there, the Budweiser Woman of the Match in that last match with a couple of goals and assists as well. She's on the ball, number 10. Wambach. She's a marked woman for sure in this one. Playing down the left side, the U.S. so good at switching the point of attack, going from left to right and right to left. Ball back to target. The Russians not at all dangerous in that first game. Just one shot on goal, nothing testing Hope Solo at all, as she picked up that 69th career shutout, just 2 behind the great Brianna Scurry. Not able to connect early on. 6 minutes in. And the Russians just playing forward a lot of these balls, trying to see what they could get. And nothing doing there to Pantyukina. She's a 20-year-old, likes to play wide on that right flank. Scored a goal in the Euro Under-19 final against France a couple of years ago. And there she is, Kelly O'Hara. Hasn't played on the U.S. national team in a year and a half due to that major ankle injury. The hometown hero getting her first action in front of her fans. Spoke to her on Tuesday during training. Her grandfather flew in. Plenty of teammates, other family members that live here. Just a great sign to see Kelly O'Hara in the lineup, playing with the national team once again. You can see Russia having problems early on, trying to string together an attack. Nothing really working, just trying to see if they could hit the U.S. long. And that also obviously has not worked through 90 in the 98th minute now, including both matches combined. Morgan Bryant, number 25 over there. Great story she is. Won the Herman Award over at Virginia. Basically the Heisman Trophy for soccer. U.S. on the attack. Russia now countering. Still 4 defenders back. How steady that back line is. Great crowd tonight at the Georgia Dome. And again, trying to go long. The flag is up. There's the first offsides of the match. See Heather O'Reilly so far being a once again an instrumental part of this offense, running all over the pitch. They took out Pushkareva, who couldn't control her in that last match, as the U.S. goes forward. With numbers, the cross. And the shot goes just wide. Past Zhemanakova. Good buildup by the U.S. You see number 25, Morgan Bryant. Just spoke about her earlier. The rising senior at Virginia. And the youngest player on the roster just streaks it wide. Past that post. She's 20 years old. 16 goals, 14 assists in the undefeated regular season for Virginia, and a final for berth. So you see so far the United States dominating the contest, And there's a hard foul, indeed, on Allie Krieger. That's a couple of fouls on Allie. It's not basketball, though, so she's allowed more than 5 or 6. But they could accumulate, leading to a yellow card at some point. As the official, Melissa Paula Borjas Pastrana, tries to control this thing, but nothing given as of yet. Here's Rapinoe. U.S. so good in tight spaces. Lloyd. One long on that right side. There's O'Reilly, so dangerous. She begged an opponent on Saturday. Goes to her left, plays it back. Krieger sends it in. Weakly sent back out, but enough for the Russians to come the other way. 3-on-4. And Hope Solo comes out to gobble that one up. U.S. trying to build it. Kelly Lloyd plays on Western New York with the flash. Remember, she had a red card, so she missed that Canada game. U.S. won 1-0 on the Sydney Leroux goal. A great individual effort by Becky Sauerbrunn on the 1-2 to lead to that game-winning goal as the first match of the year. Building again on that left side. Rapinoe, the 1-2 in the area, knocked away this second corner for the Americans. How long can Alice Sidorovskaya in this Russian back line try and hold off the U.S.? Well, 29 minutes on Saturday. Right now, they're 10.5 minutes in. They've yet to have a dent against them. But you get that feeling. The U.S. just complete control. Sent in low and hard. The rebound off the post, and there it is. There's the breakthrough. Check out the replay. Who's going to get this one? And it looks like Whitney Engen with the shot, and I believe that hits off the defender. We'll have to see how they credit that. It hits off Elena Terakova, and more than likely that's an own goal. Hits the post, comes out, hits Terakova. So it's either going to be officially an own goal, which I believe it will, and Neil Malone spotting here. Believe so as well. We'll have to see, though. Whitney Engen, aggressive. And it is an own goal. So they get on the board. It comes off of Elena Terakova, and the U.S. with a 1-0 lead. You had that feeling they were about to dent through. Rodriguez, so dangerous, just cleared away. So the scoring starts off with that own goal here in the 12th minute. The U.S. on the board, 1-0. Whitney Engen, incidentally, plays in Toriso in Sweden. She's going to leave after the match, as is Kristen Press, who scored a couple of goals on Saturday. Engen, one of the prettiest goals you will ever see. You can check it out online. If you believe it, it was a back heel volley off of a 40-yard free kick. And oh boy, talk about a low bridge. Carly Lloyd. Is he talking to the official, wanting a card on that one? Check out this replay. Extremely dangerous, right on that left elbow. Carly's all right, though. See with that shiner on the eye. I watched the Americans train on Tuesday, and it's a thing of beauty to watch how hard they go on each other. The pace, the level. Great quote from Wambach right after that training session, talking about how in a match like this against Russia, they need to learn how to really take care of their chances, to build things, because when they're in practice against each other, even the B team is so tough that they don't get the opportunity sometimes. Where in a match like this, with the Algarve Cup coming up in a month, World Cup qualifying, it's situations such as these friendlies where the U.S. really can hone their craft and become the team that is the #1 team in the world, which they are in those FIFA rankings. And incidentally, Wambach taken down hard in that training session by Samantha Mewis, the second youngest, just won a national championship with UCLA, 21 years of age, Christy's younger sister. She gave Abby some whop from behind, right at midfield. Abby got up though, no harm, no foul. But boy, oh boy, not good to see when the world's leading scorer goes down like that. Anyway, 1-0 here, Americans on that left flank. There's Rapinoe, been quiet so far early on. Lloyd switching that point of attack. Here's Krieger. Back to Alley. Possession once again in that 75 to 80% range. Van Hollebeck. Just want to say Bueller, but Van Hollebeck it is. Here's Abby. Some space. Goes through. And Carly Lloyd just could not get that first touchdown, or else she could have been in. The keeper, Shamanikova. Miscommunication there for the U.S. Lloyd and O'Reilly. Russia with it in midfield. Elena Medved plays on Zorki in the Supreme League. There's Terakova. Russia just little control. You see the difference in the quality here. The Americans, 7, 8, 9 straight passes they string together. Tough sledding to get 3 or 4 for the visitors. Constantly switching the point of attack. Once again, going long. U.S. with numbers back. Russia the cross, a little bit of space. The left-footed volley. Morozova puts it across. Here's Rapinoe. And the U.S. looking to counter. Has some space if they can cross it. Get the switch. O'Reilly not able to get over. Russia on that left side. They just knock it forward. A little bit of kick and run for the Russians. That's about all they can muster here in the first 17 minutes. Great job early on once again by Heather O'Reilly. Not much the Russians can do on that right flank. Ball given away. Here comes O'Reilly. Plays it to the right. Plenty of space. Rodriguez takes her defender one-on-one to the touchline. Puts it in front. Look at Rapinoe. Thing of beauty. Just muscled away. You see the keeper there. Maria Shamanikova in front. Again, Rapinoe. And the Americans with the third corner of the contest. That's Valentina Orlova. Who played on the under-17 championship team with Russia years ago. Once again, you get that feeling, a lot of open space. Rapinoe tried for Engen. I almost feel like Whitney deserves a goal in this thing. Rapinoe, the outswinger. To Wambach. The blast goes well above over the net. Abby making her presence felt. You see on these corners, they're trying to go deep to her so she can head it back in the area. And that semi-half volley from about 17 yards out. So the Americans, the 1-0 lead. Thanks for joining us here at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Both teams playing that 4-4-2. The Americans so far doing it with better quality for sure. Carly Lloyd, that's going the USA's way. There's Krieger again. There's Lloyd. Carly with those 48 international goals, the second most on the roster. Pretty 1-2. Bobby to Megan. And well done, one off the ball, but look at Wamba, so strong from the ground. Antioquina. Run away by the ladies in blue. Back line just standing strong as always. Doesn't matter who you have in there. Becky Sauerbrunn can be in there, Christy Rampone. So much depth for the Americans. Tom Sermani, 15-0-3 as the head man. Down the right side, here's Krieger. Dangerous ball in front. Here's Rapinoe, side of the 18. Blocked away nicely and cleared out. Lots of pressure once again. The Americans ranked #1 on FIFA's world rankings. Russia 21st. The Russians currently 3rd in their World Cup qualifying. Germany well ahead at 5-0. The Germans, by the way, outscoring everybody 40-0, including that 9-0 victory over Russia earlier in the year. Next up for the Americans, the Algarve Cup in a month. Should be their first true test. Canada certainly tested them somewhat in that 1-0 game earlier in the year. But on March 5th, they'll face Japan in Group B of the Algarve Cup, then Sweden a couple of days later, and Denmark on the 10th. Here's O'Hara putting it in. And again, the Russians just knocking out the captain, Ksenia Saibudovic. Lavrentiev's team has to be a little bit frustrated, severely outclassed. Just looking to send one ahead, hope they can get a counter. Sort of like this. Is Morozova, the most dangerous Russian. Lloyd. O'Reilly. And the obvious foul. Orlova, who received that red card in the last match. Shots on goal so far, 6-2 in favor of the Americans. It's a generous 2 shots so far for the Russians. Very well done. Taken off the ball is Rodriguez. Russia showing moments of defending. But certainly not as stout. Those were just shot 16. Obviously not on goal. Here's Katerina Dimitrenko, the 24-year-old. She had a yellow in that last match. She's played on 4 Supreme Division teams. Now back with Rossienko from 2010 to 2012. And the Russians mounting a little something that's headed away. So one of the few dangerous set pieces we can see from the Russians as the American fans get up. Setting low and hard, but picked away there by Morgan Bryant. Trying to go deep is Rapinoe. There's Wamba. The Russians trying to counter. There's always 2 or 3 Americans back, though, for one Russian. And very well done by Kelly O'Hara. Late addition to the January camp roster is O'Hara. Part of the Olympic gold medal team in 2012. You see Russia, the only thing they can muster is those long balls. Hope they can hit somebody in stride. Or the U.S. able to not do something well on the back line because they are not able to build whatsoever through the 24th minute. If you're just joining us, thank you here on USsoccer.com. An own goal in the 12th minute. Whitney Engen making things happen off of a corner. And an own goal leading to the 1-0 lead. Rapinoe going forward from about 40 yards out. Looking for Krieger, who is overlapping. And that's sprayed away for the throw-in deep in the end. O'Reilly will leave it for Krieger. Rodriguez. Lloyd taken down. And nothing doing according to the center referee. Crowd boos. Not delighted by the no call. So far, nothing at all Russia's able to do in this match that they were attempting to do in that last match. Obviously, no Alex Morgan. She's out with that ankle injury, suffered months ago. Almost ready to come back. Tobin Heath as well. Tobin's in France with Paris Saint-Germain, progressing well, recovering from her foot injury. Hopefully we'll see both of those very talented players back in the national team in the near future. Very rare foul throw called there on O'Hara. You don't see that a lot in big girl soccer. A little lack of focus on the throw. So here's Dmitrenko, the 24-year-old. Plays at Rosyanka as well, the Russian Supreme League. Lloyd, the overlap again from Krieger, looking to go forward, 4 in the back. So the outside backs certainly will take their chances. Switching the point of attack. Just making it look easy. Here's Rapinoe. See Wambach playing traffic cop. That leads to a throw. The shot from distance. Megan Rapinoe from about 22 yards out. Well done in the end by Zhamenakova, the 24-year-old keeper. Played back, and Hope Solo. She certainly scored from deep before. Megan Rapinoe, a magician on those free kicks at times. We saw it against New Zealand back in October. It's her 23rd goal here. And boy, from about 18 yards out, she just curled it in. And nothing the Kiwi keeper was able to do on that one. This played by the U.S. And it leads to an American throw-in. Krieger, very active so far in this one. Forward, taking her share of fouls. Rodriguez back to Krieger. 28th minute. It's right about where the U.S. dented the net for the first time on Saturday at Florida Atlantic in that 7-0 victory. Able to get one. Now going forward looking for a second. O'Reilly. Very vulnerable back line of Russia. Able to clear it out, but Heather O'Reilly doing exactly what she did in that first match. Unstoppable, the Boston Breaker. 138 career starts for O'Reilly. 13th most all time. You almost have the feeling that ball is there every single time. Whenever the Americans want to go that way, O'Reilly's there and up to the challenge. Here's Dmitrenko. Nothing else to do but play it back. Lloyd. Skied high. Crowd with the USA chance. Here's Krieger looking deep. Second run going forward. Rodriguez plays it back. And we'll set it up again. Van Hollebeck. Formerly Rachel Bueller, the Buelldozer. Wambach comes out to get it. Lloyd, little 1-2, forming that triangle. Morgan Bryant. So patient so far, the Americans. Wait to seize that opportunity. Rapinoe. Good look. Rodriguez inside to Wambach. Maybe one too many. Abby could have turned and fired that one potentially. The Americans, constant pressure. Not able to necessarily get it in the 18 all that much, but right around it. Budovic taken away. Russians looking for a handball. That's sent in from distance. Again, right on the edge of the 18. Rapinoe. Von Hopper. And that's saved by the Russian keeper. So the constant attack going left to right in those blue uniforms. The United States with the 1-0 lead here in the 31st minute. Of all of your highlights at the half, including a U.S. package you won't want to miss. Some great stuff in training and all about the United States women's team. Wambach starting it over. Going deep. Some room here for Morozova. Plays it in the middle. Sidorovskaya. Relentless pressure, though, by Bryant. Americans not giving up any ground. Korovkina, tricky little players, number 20. Puts it wide, sent in. And pretty much a useless ball in the end. Hope Solo, a crowd favorite. Whenever she touches it, you always get those giggles from the young girls. They love Hope Solo. Real crowd favorite wherever the Americans go. Here's Krieger. Just out of the reach of Rodriguez. So far, real nice performance from Zhemanakova. Sergei Lavrentiev, a former professional player, is the Russian coach. He has 8 players from the roster, part of the European Championship team here today. Not able to string that together with Rodriguez. Still possession though. Lloyd. Stolen away. Looks like we may have our first substitution. Looks like Christy Mewis warming up. Another one of the bright young Americans, the older sister of Samantha. Christy, a Hermann Trophy semifinalist back in 2012. For O'Hara, it looks like. We'll have to get official confirmation when it happens. Maybe Russia's best chance right there, but that was stymied away by the U.S. back four once again. Bryant. Rapinoe. The good ball. Sending forward. O'Reilly, so dangerous. Oh, the flag is up. Crowd in disagreement. Such a dangerous ball, and there you see the substitution. Coming in, number 19, 5'9" Christy Mewis. On the replay, the official, job well done. And speaking of job well done, how about Kelly O'Hara? Comes out in the 33rd minute, very successful comeback. Mewis, you see in the headband, number 19. But a big round of applause for number 5. Kelly O'Hara, the hometown favorite. Quality 32-33 minutes. And a good job of coaching by Coach Sermani. No reason to get her too taxed to go too far. Successful first outing. And onwards and upwards. Mewis, a Boston College Eagle. On for the 12th time. It's her 12th cap today. The little chip. Put down by Abby. And Rodriguez. Not enough power behind that. Good clinical soccer. The shot, the finish is not there. Amy Rodriguez, very much involved in this game. You see O'Reilly, Rodriguez, Wambach. And there's the old bulldozer. Van Hollebeck. Interesting, when she was signing autographs for the first time with her new name, it just didn't feel right, she was saying. And I can understand, going all those years with her maiden name. Here's Wambach with space. The through ball. O'Reilly again on that right flank. Russia's got 4 back. O'Reilly in the area. Going left, the shot. Rapinoe. Abby with a blast, just up wide. Again, it's that pressure down the right side from O'Reilly. Rapinoe, Wambach. You see it again. Off the back of Dimitrenko. And oh boy, Wambach a little bit off balance. The huge double save. Tough angle for Wambach. That pressure though, that if you're Russia, you just want to get to this half right now. It's almost a moral victory of sorts. You get to that locker room, you shorten this match, only down 1. And who knows what can happen from that point. Just relentless pressure. Wambach can't connect with Rapinoe. Terakova. And again, 1 back by the Americans. Here's Lloyd. Lots of green grass in front. Again, so dangerous here with O'Reilly. The cross, no connection. Korovkina. Morozova. Good soccer right there by the Russians. Sidakova trying to build. Here comes Russia on the attack with numbers. And Solo. Good job using the body defensively. And Kelly O'Hara, by the way, not injured at all. The plan was to go around 30 minutes, so no worries there. The ankle intact. A job well done from the Fayetteville native. The 2-time parade All-American. Possession still well in favor of the Americans. Here's Krieger. Everybody's running into Allie. Nobody's coming in. Here comes Abby. So we're in the 38th minute. The U.S. with that 1-0 lead on an own goal. Made in part from Whitney Engen. Shot that hit the post. Bounced off Elena Terakova, I believe. And it went in minute number 12. So the U.S. not able to solve the Russians. Certainly they've come close on numerous occasions. Lloyd. Morozova. Probably the best player in the match for Russia. Referee says play on. A little bit of a scrum involved there. Finally, Van Hollebeck. U.S. looking to build. Bryant. So much talent on this squad, so much young talent as well. We saw the old guard years ago. The Mia Hams and Julie Foudy's and Brandy Chastains. And they've built it up now to the Wambachs and the O'Reillys and Rapinoe. Now the next guard is coming up with the old guard still playing at a very high level. And there is the foul on Morozova. Very scrappy is Elena Morozova. Well done by the Russians in the about 25 yards out. Closing it down. And Atlanta resident Michelle Akers talking about the Mia Hams and the Julie Foudy's. Michelle Akers in attendance tonight, certainly a U.S. legend. Talking about passing the torch. Michelle's certainly one of those ladies, which has done that very successfully. Here's Bryant. Lots of space. Russia almost resigned to the fact they're going to sit back somewhat and not try and attack the ball at all times. Wambach looks for Rapinoe, nothing doing. Wambach again on that left. She goes wide, the overlap. Mewis. And corner number 4, I believe. And remember, on all of these, and we'll see it again here, Rapinoe's going to take it once again. Now on the other side, they've been going deep out to Wambach, trying to get her initial head to go in that area for the dangerous ball. We'll see if they switch it up here. Curling it in. Keeper comes out, makes the save, and that's punched out and sent out. O'Reilly gathers it. And we'll start it up the attack again. The 41st minute. It's been all about the United States. An own goal in minute number 12 has been all they can muster. Nothing dangerous whatsoever, though, for the Russians. Great ball to Lloyd. Lloyd going forward. Still with possession. The blast. Great job by Carly Lloyd. Take another look. Hacked down, stayed up, advantage played, and Lloyd right into the belly of the keeper from about 23 yards out. Shamanikova all over it once again. That's going to go in favor of the Russians. About 45 yards out from goal. See if they just try and hack it in the area, get something going. Play a little long ball like we used to do at age 8, 9, and 10. Put it in the area, see if somebody can come through. Sent in nicely. Sidakova is Morozova. Tough ball handled. Well, I think that was literally handled. See the official, Melissa Paula Borjas Pastrana. Krieger sets it, gives it back to Solo. See number 16 there, Rachel Van Hollebeck, academic All-American at Stanford, pre-med. Her dad's a heart surgeon. I think her goal eventually is to be a doctor as well, but the problem, this soccer thing's gotten in the way a little bit. Morozova wins it forward. Little better play of late from the Russians. Still not able to do much at all in the attacking third. Elena Medved. Medved again, Morozova. Pretty little piece. Couple of 1-2s, but again, best they can muster is a weak shot from about 25 yards out. Minute 44. All things considered, Coach Lavrentiev probably not all that upset. Remember, they were down 3-0 at the half in Florida Atlantic. Krieger going forward. Rodriguez. And that's played away. And that's corner number 5. It's a relentless attack. The U.S. can go long, they can go short, they can 1-2 you to death, and it's actually a throw-in. No, it's actually a corner. I don't think Heather O'Reilly was trying to pull a fast one. Certainly you'd rather have the corner. Rapinoe. The U.S. with one next to the keeper, and all the rest are going to be charging hard in the area. The service. Nicely put. And again the save. Wambach right there with that left foot. Just beat her man to the spot. Zhemanakova coming up big once again, the Russian keeper. You see Wambach all the way out to the 18. Americans with their set plays. Rapinoe again, so dangerous with this set piece. Giving the signal. Curling it in. And Wambach weakly wide. You see what they could do. They'll go to Abby deep. She'll try and head it in. They'll play it short. They'll go deep to Abby charging. It's a tough matchup for the Russians as we approach first half stoppage time of this 1-0 USA lead. Can't be too much. And in fact, there is none. So we've played a half dominated by the Americans. They get 1 goal to show for it. They were up 3-0 in Boca 5 days ago. Total dominance though. Great stuff all around by the US. And the lone goal coming in the 12th minute off a corner. Whitney Engen with a blast off the post. I believe it hit Elena Terakova, bounced in, and that's where we are. So pretty much both teams going in fairly happy to the locker room. We'll have highlights, we'll have a highlight package, but at the break, it's the Americans thanks to an own goal with the 1-0 lead here in the Georgia Dome.
Well, in South Florida, in preparation for its match on February 8th against Russia at FAU Stadium, the U.S. women's national team is training here at the historic Lockhart Stadium. U.S. head coach Tom Sermanni has been on the job for just over a year, but as it turns out, he's been here before.
Well, in 1978, when I was very much younger than I am now, we were on a post-season tour with Blackpool FC, who I played for at that time, and we came here to play Fort Lauderdale Strikers, and we played on this very field. I remember Gordon Banks, the famous English goalkeeper, was in goal for Fort Lauderdale. I remember that the Fort Lauderdale team came on the field on an open deck, double-decker English bus, which for someone coming from the UK at that time was a bit bizarre. There was a great crowd here because, you know, we didn't know an awful lot about US soccer at that time, or soccer in the US. There's a tremendous crowd, and it was about the show as well, because back in the UK in those days, you played at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. There was no rigmarole, no show, basically. And then you came here and there was show and there was stuff going on, and it was just amazing. It was a real eye-opener. I remember we had Blackpool is famous for rock, candy over there, and we brought stocks of rock and threw them into the crowd, which you know, got the crowd on our side a little bit. And I remember missing an opportunity in the second half to score against Gordon Banks. So I've been in the central midfield, played the ball wide to my friend Dave Hockaday, who was lightning quick in those days. He's flown past the full-back, got close to the byline. I've made a late run into the penalty area, a little bit deeper. He's cut the ball back to me as I've gone in, and I've tried to put it past Gordon Banks like that. But unfortunately, I put it in row 15 of the stand. No goalkeeper in goal. I've managed to put it between the posts.
I'm day one, no crutches, which is like moving onward and upward, which is awesome. But I was on crutches for 6 weeks, which was really hard because I definitely needed to ask for help a lot. I was a little helpless. I couldn't even carry a plate or a drink or whatever it was. It was like the little things that you don't realize, and obviously being an athlete, we don't reach out for help that often. We're kind of do-it-ourselves type of people, so it was an adjustment for me. Me and my crutches kind of went through an emotional roller coaster. I thought I was going to run them over after I was done using them, but they're still in my room, just sitting there patiently. I didn't expect when I sprained my ankle back in October, late October, that it would come to this. And that was the hardest part for me, was kind of doubting myself, like, well, you know, why didn't I take it easier? Why didn't I kind of pull myself out of training or out of a game? But you can't look back, you kind of just need to look forward. It was definitely hard, but I feel like now that I'm actually seeing improvement, we just got an MRI, and it kind of helps me a little bit mentally to be able to bike a little bit, to be able to swim. I wasn't able to do anything on crutches, so now knowing that there's improvement, I'm able to do some stuff, I feel a lot more, I guess, happy. The second time I was told I had to go on crutches, that was 3 weeks after I'd already been on crutches. I was positive that I was coming off crutches. I didn't even think there was another option, and we got a repeat MRI, and they said, we haven't seen improvement and you need to be on crutches for at least 3 more weeks. And that's when I kind of took a deep breath and was like, oh wow, like I didn't even know that this was a possibility. Finally, after talking with my friends and family and being around them a lot, I realized that, you know, it's whatever it is, it's meant to be. You know, I need a break and I need my body to rest. I'm hoping to be out of the boot in 2 weeks, and we're gonna do another repeat MRI in 4 weeks. So we're really hoping that in 4 weeks, my bone is healed. There's no signs of a bone bruise or any of that sort. I want to be back for preseason with the Thorns. I want to be able to, you know, play a game with the national team in the next 2 months. It's really nice being with the team here in Florida and just being around this sort of environment. It's very unique, and I have a lot of good friends on this team, so it's great just being around them every day. And Dawn and Rick, our trainer and fitness coach, are kicking my butt.
My favorite sport in the Winter Olympics is the bobsledding. Well, it's actually kind of tied because I like the bobsledding, but I also really like the speed skating. Go figure. Forward, we like the speed skating. Power, yeah.
The ski jump. I'm always fascinated why people are brave enough to go down that impossible slope and fly off the end into the sky.
Snowboarding and like free skiing. Go down the thing and then like shh.
That's ski jumping.
Like, no, the real high one, like the like.
Of course, snowboarding. Sean White's from San Diego, woohoo! And he is a stud. Many people don't know this, but I was the state champion in the downhill, so I feel like I really connect with those athletes. So, unfortunately, I couldn't be there because of my duties here. I mean, I probably would have made the team, but I'm cheering them on anyways. Go USA!
Wait, did you really?
No, of course not.
My favorite is probably be a little bit more graceful. I like the ice
graceful.
skating. The dainty hands.
Curling, I love curling. It's fun to watch them go down the ice, the little brushes.
I'm so excited to watch USA women's hockey go for gold. Good luck, girls.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, have fun, enjoy it, take it for what it is.
Good luck, USA and Sochi.
You can do it. Bring home the gold.
Inside the Georgia Dome, I'm Justin Hanover. 1-0. The United States with the lead at the half over Russia, thanks to the own goal coming in minute number 12. We'll have some highlights for you. First, some statistics in the first half in a thoroughly dominated game by the United States. Shots 14-3 on goal in favor of the Americans, 9-0. The saves 8 for Maria Zhamanikova, who is really good in goal for the Russians, and none for Hope Solo. Corner kicks, 6 for the United States, 1 for Russia. Fouls, 3 for the United States. In that first half, Ali Krieger with at least 2 of those being very aggressive. The Russians with 5 fouls, and offsides were 1 apiece. So the United States with a 1-0 lead at the half. Not 7-0 as the screen shows. It is 1-0 in favor of the Americans. A great first half, or at least a great comeback of sorts for Kelly O'Hara, the hometown favorite from Fayetteville, Georgia, number 5, the defender. She played 31 quality minutes recovering from that ankle injury, had a major issue, did not play with the national team since June of 2012, and Kelly O'Hara played, according to plan, a solid 31 minutes, and then she was subbed by the Virginia Rising senior, or I should say, excuse me, not by the Virginia Rising seniors. Morgan Bryan is on the pitch, but by Christy Mewis. So the United States with a 1-0 lead, an own goal in minute number 12. Off of a corner, Whitney Engen almost deserved credit for the goal. She knocked it off the post. It hit the back of Elena Terakova, and that's the only time the Americans were able to solve Maria Zhamanikova, who is coming in today for Elvira Tadua, who played in that 7-0 defeat in the last match. And you see the score up there. It was 7-0. Both teams playing their 4-4-2, and the Americans clearly dominating 75 to 80%, I can estimate, in possession. All around great efforts by pretty much everybody. Carly Lloyd very much involved, Allie Krieger, Heather O'Reilly. Let's send it, though, to the first half highlights. Only one goal, but plenty of attack coming your way from the Americans, who once again are without Alex Morgan and Tobin Heath. So let's get a good look at what exactly took place here in the first 45 minutes for Coach Tom Sermanni, who's 15-0-3 at the head of the team since he's come in about a year and a quarter or so ago, taking over for the great Pia Sundhage, who did so great winning the World Coach of the Year back in 2012. So once again, if you're just joining us here on USsoccer.com, the Americans with a 1-0 lead over Russia. Russia clearly the inferior side, but you know what? You know soccer. You're within a goal, you're within 2 goals, you've got a chance. Anything can happen, and even though the attack is not there, they've tried to send Elena Morozova, they've tried to send at times Nelly Korivkina. It's not really happening. They're going deep, they're playing a little bit of kick and run, are the Russians. Not at all able to solve, though, that back line, which we saw O'Hara. We have not seen it all. Christy Rampone or Becky Sauerbrunn, who started in that first game. We have seen a lot of, though, in the midfield. Heather O'Reilly, number 9, constantly going forward down that right flank. She's done it in both games so far. The former Tar Heel, completely dominant against anybody thrown in her way. 38 career goals, 138 career starts, 195 caps, third most on the roster. Heather O'Reilly certainly taking care of business on that right side. Plenty of opportunities, just not able to do a ton in the end offensively, at least in terms of the finish. Russia, Euro 2013, they finished third once again in Group C. They lost their opening game to France 3-1. Elena Morozova with the goal in that one. And then they had a couple of solid points. They pulled out against England and Spain. Nelly Korivkina scoring against the English, and Elena Terakova netting one against Spain. So far in 2015 World Cup qualifying, they are 1-1 are the Russians. Damaging loss to Germany 9-0 and a 2-0 win against Slovakia. Taking a look at what partook in the first half. See the players coming out. Both teams getting excited to play. Good quality first 45 minutes. Engen with that shot off the post, and you see Terakova have it hit unlucky as she's playing that post. Probably should have been wrapped in a little bit tighter, but it goes in, and the American faithful fans very happy. The shot from distance, Rapinoe, we've seen that a couple of times throughout the years. Going right, trying to cut it back left, and the save from Zhamanikova. Once again, the U.S. going forward. Wambach settles it, puts it down. Rodriguez, the left-handed shot, not enough mustard on it. Watch it again. Rodriguez, very good first half, just not enough to finish there on the Russian 24-year-old keeper. So at the break, the U.S. with that 1-0 lead certainly deserved another goal or two. Another 45 minutes, though, to go. We'll see if they can get past Zhamanikova at least one more time. Second half to come. It's from the Georgia Dome. The U.S., the 1-0 lead over Russia. back inside the Georgia Dome. You see Ali Krieger, the rest of the Americans plotting strategy for the second half with that 1-0 lead. Couple of substitutions. Hope Solo, her night is done. We'll get a good look at Jill Lloyden coming in for the Americans. Lloyden from Villanova, plays with Sky Blue. 2-0 in 2013, not allowing a goal at all in that short stint. And for Russia, Elena Morozova, number 23. She's going to leave the match, maybe the most dangerous player. And coming in from the University of Pennsylvania, number 14, Anastasia Shevchenko. So we'll get a look of Shevchenko in as the Americans go deep right off the initial kick, pushing the pace. Rapinoe on that left side. Sent in. Dangerous right off the bat. Just a few seconds into the second half. Obviously the Americans going right to left here in the blue. Russia in the red, going left to right. So just one substitution apiece. 2 overall in the match so far for the U.S. 1 off the ball against Wambach, but clumsily played out. And the blast, Carly Lloyd. Rapinoe saves it, well done. Mewis. Engen. And once again, the official letting them play, Melissa Paula Borjas Pastrana. Engen out of bounds. So a good attack in the first minute here from the home Americans. You see, shaking her head saying no. Abby's about as tough as they get, though. That'll be a throw for the United States. Once again, the shots on goal in that first half, 9 in favor of the Americans and none whatsoever for the visitors from Russia. Mewis with the throw. And again, boy, I'll tell you, Abby Wambach knows every single match she plays, she is going to get hit from behind like that. It's just the nature of the beast when you're as dominant as she's been. Goal kick for the Americans. Jill Lloyden once again in goal. Started 3 games last year, or started 2, I should say, played in 3 matches. 2-0 record. Here's Rodriguez. And the ball came up. It did hit her in the hand. She didn't like the call. You see Mark Sorrow, AR2, on the call. See the replay of it. Well, Amy tried to give it a what did I do? Well, Amy, good try. Didn't work out there. I'll say the lady of the match clearly for Russia so far is their keeper, Zhemanikova. It's been brilliant. Shevchenko, number 14, from Portland, Oregon, the 19-year-old. Rodriguez, the good tackle, she wins it. Switching the point of attack, here's Rapinoe at midfield. Plenty of space, close her down, she goes up top. Here's Sidakova. Just turned 29 last week. It's Svetlana Tsivakova. That'll go out for another U.S. throw. Certainly some talent on the Russian roster. Again, 8 players from the Euro 2013 squad. Just when you play the best team on the planet, it's going to be rough sledding, and we've seen it so far through the first game and a half this week. Morgan Bryant. Plenty of room. Here's Rodriguez. Out wide. O'Reilly again so dangerous. The one-on-one move, the cross. And Wambach sort of sat where she was, wanting the ball more pulled back versus going forward. O'Reilly though, boy oh boy, she could do this at will. One of these times she's just going to go to goal. She did that in the first match on Saturday. Complete nutmeg of a defender and went straight to goal. Rapinoe off the errant kick. Wambach going in the area. Here's Lloyd. Lloyd still on it. One too many touches. Lewis. Rodriguez. Nicely done out wide. Rapinoe, the left-footed cross. And that's mistaken. And oh boy, own goal number 2, I believe. We'll have to see how they rule that. Wambach was there. Certainly miscommunication on the Russian back line. Zhemanakova came out, the first blip on her radar, and that is certainly own goal number 2. You see it hit off Valentina Orlova. She's having a tough time. The red card on Saturday, off her left thigh. Things aren't going well. Things aren't going well. So in minute number 50, own goal number 2. Valentina Orlova. I think the keeper's got to be a little more dominant on about what's going on that play. If you come out, you get that ball, and if you don't, you stay home. Anyway, the U.S., they double their advantage. 2-0 in front, dangerous ball. Van Hallebeck. Russia on that right side. Terakova, and one away by Mewis. The switch. We'll see if this opens the floodgates. They say 2 goals is the most dangerous lead. I'm thinking not in this case, but we'll see. Great triangles formed there in the middle. Little miscommunication. Wambach not going all the way forward, but the U.S. wins it. Again, O'Reilly, the dangerous ball in front. There's the third. Rodriguez. The dangerous pass again from O'Reilly. Boy, oh boy. Stays onside. The left-footed volley. Right in the upper part of the goal. Brilliant. Chance of USA. Oh, baby. A couple of own goals. And now we finally saw the brilliance of Heather O'Reilly and Amy Rodriguez. And the irony to it all, O'Reilly's defender kept Rodriguez onside. Because she's so dangerous, the defender had to sort of take an extra step back. That kept Rodriguez on. And we'll see if these floodgates are fully open as the Americans now with a 3-goal lead. Sheer brilliance. O'Reilly and Rodriguez. They go up top again. That's onside. Zhemanakova comes out, slow to regain it. They are calling a foul. I believe the flag was down. They're calling a foul, O'Reilly, on the keeper. Good aggressive play, though, as we take a look at the replay. I'll tell you, she got a lot of ball on that, but these referees told you have to err on the side of caution with these goalkeepers. So I guess in the end, it's a good call. Zhemanakova, though, so dominant early on. Little jittery, I think, right about now. The Americans pressing forward for the kill. Rapinoe, great first touch. The left-footed cross in front. And there's Wambach. Rapinoe, Wambach, onside barely, and the world all-time goal scorer now with 165. Falling on the fanny. Boy, was she just onside. And the roof caving in for Zhemanakova and this Russian defense, who put a valiant first half effort in. But we now see 3 goals in a 4-minute span. The floodgates are open, and the United States are proving once again why they are the top-ranked team in the land. Zhemanakova is down in goal. We may see Elvira Tadua once again. Boy, oh boy, she was beaten up in these last few minutes. So Abby Wambach, you can't say enough about the brilliant American, the former Florida Gator, 2012 FIFA World Player of the Year. She now has 40 goals in the past 48 games. And 42% of her goals by her head. But she used her foot on Saturday, used her feet again here. So a great performance early on in the second half. Crowd applauding Zhemenakova, who looks like she's up and may stay in the match. This is exactly what they came to see. The Americans so dominant down the flanks, opening the space up, putting it across, and you have world-class strikers like Rodriguez and Wambach able to finish it off. Combined score now 11-0 in the past match and a half. Sheer dominance from the Americans as they get ready for the Algarve Cup, a very important warm-up per se to World Cup qualifying. Major opponents, Japan, the world number 3, coming up on March the 5th. Sweden and Denmark after that. If they win that group, they play in the Algarve Cup final, which they did last year, beating the Germans 2-0. Alex Morgan, both of those tallies. So the Americans sort of a warm-up right now to the warm-up at Algarve in Portugal, southern Portugal to be exact. And Russia with another substitution. Looks like Svetlana Sidakova leaving the match in number 22. It's a defender for a midfielder, Daria Makarenko, coming in. The 26-year-old here in the 56th minute. Interesting stat about Makarenko. She has scored twice from right around midfield in her career. So Jill Lloyden, be careful. Don't come out too far. So now a 4-0 lead. Rapinoe, Lloyd, Wambach, seemingly doing whatever they want. Russia completely on their heels. Just trying to play it deep. Very well done by Van Hollebeck. First time the U.S. women's national team has played in Atlanta in their history. They've been in Georgia. They're 7-0 in the state. Played in Kennesaw, where the Atlanta Beat used to play. They've never played here in Atlanta. And you see the crowd loving every single minute of it. It's a bruised and battered Russia side right about now. Russians can't string anything together. A pass or two, that's about it. See Coach Tom Sermani, very jovial coach. Always looking at the positive, a joy to be around. In the few moments on Tuesday I was watching him. Jill Ellis running a lot of that practice. Coach Ellis 5-0-2 in that interim run after Pia Sundhage left the team. Russia building an attack. Sidorovskaya put it in the area, and that's sent out by Krieger. You see the coach right there, not having to do much today. On Tuesday, during that training session, a little scrimmage that they had, a couple of 20-minute halves, a 3-2 victory. It became the Megan Rapinoe against Sydney LaRusso. Each of those ladies netting a couple of goals, and then Christy Mewis with the game winner in that 3-2 little split side scrimmage. The quality, the depth on that field, utterly amazing. O'Reilly again wins it, down that right flank, working on Medved. Medved holds her own, and that's knocked out of play. Throw into the Americans. Wambach. Just making it look easy, switching that point of attack. Look at the open green grass. Here's Lloyd. Rapinoe. Terakova comes over, knocks it away. And Russia with the possession. Trailing 4-0. Almost in minute number 61. Dimitrenko taken down. Little gamesmanship by Rapinoe. Sent long, couple of Russians, couple of defenders. Knocked back. Terakova bottled up. An aggressive play by Whitney Engen. Took a little knock herself there. One of those kicks in the thigh. Need a knee, need a thigh. Lloyd, the cross. That's one back by Russia. But again, they can't string anything together. The U.S. once again in possession. Bryant. Then Holoback. Engen. Rapinoe. Watch the movement off the ball. The runs. Just a little late for Rodriguez. Another substitution here for the United States. Becky Sauerbrunn in the match for Ali Krieger. You see it down there. Sauerbrunn, the Budweiser Woman of the Match against Canada. If you remember on that Sydney Leroux goal, a phenomenal play by Sauerbrunn, taking the initiative, getting a back pass about 28 yards out, going straight to goal. The beautiful 1-2. Sauerbrunn then slid it across, and Leroux, the beneficiary of pretty much a wide open net, to poke it home. Just so much depth on this United States squad. You still have Christy Rampone on the bench. Lauren Holiday, formerly Lauren Cheney. You may remember her. Married Drew Holiday of the New Orleans Pelicans, who's currently out with an injury for about a month. Kristen Press, who's bursting onto the scene here. Press, the Stanford player, had a couple of goals in that last match. 10 goals in 14 appearances. Haven't seen her at all today. We'll interview the Budweiser Woman of this match. Aaron Heifetz does such a great job leading the U.S. team. We'll have him down on the field with the Budweiser Woman of the Match. Great stuff as well. Sinway Mendoza. Neil Malone up here with me. Scott Myers, Andy Shevchik. Absolutely great crew. Very professional. Here's Rapinoe, the little Meg in the area. The cross. And O'Reilly just sends it across, couldn't get her balance. Then Holoback. Again, you watch what the United States are able to do. Coming down the flanks, O'Reilly down the right, Rapinoe, whomever down the left. When they open that space up and they make Russia have to come out, so dangerous. Rapinoe. You see O'Reilly just couldn't get it on her foot. The defender did enough to keep her off balance. Minute number 64. Complete command by the United States. Beautiful move by Lloyd. Russia trying to counter. Clumsy on the pass. Bryant. The overlap. Opening up the field. Sauerbrunn. It's almost keep away right now. Engen. The spacing from the U.S. Engen played with the Liverpool ladies some years ago. Now she's still in Sweden with Turiso. Played out. Rodriguez. The left-footed shot. There's the fifth. Morgan Bryant. From distance. Watch your replay. That's a good 25 yards out. Keeper did not see it, went left. And that tickles the twine. Potentially deflected off the Russian defender. No own goal there if it hit Valentina Orlova or not. That is strictly a Morgan Bryant goal. Possibly off Orlova, maybe against Rapinoe. Either way, number 25, Morgan Bryant, the Herman Trophy winner. She's going to get credit for this one. That's now the 5th goal of the match, the 4th here in the second half. For the Americans, boy oh boy, are they spreading the wealth tonight on Thursday at the Georgia Dome. Well, they're going to give it to Megan Rapinoe. Bryant with the assist, Rapinoe with the goal. I jumped the gun. Again on the attack from the right. Wambach, almost. Complete annihilation right now at this point. Here's Terakova. Dimitrenko, just nowhere to go with it. See O'Reilly. U.S. not giving an inch whatsoever. They even said after that training on Tuesday, there was a mention of let's get more than 7 goals. Let's improve upon that performance. So that last goal officially, Megan Rapinoe, off of her head. And Morgan Bryant gets the assist. Shevchenko, University of Pennsylvania. See number 14. That back pass, not a good one. Here's Rapinoe going to goal. Rodriguez just behind her. The cross, oh, Rapinoe just couldn't deflect it. Couldn't angle it with the foot, and it goes wide. Here's the replay again. And yeah, I guess it hit Megan's head. It certainly did deflect the keeper. Zhemenakova was fooled. Another substitution. Here's Lauren Holiday, formerly Lauren Cheney. So you're replacing Morgan Bryant. You just keep on bringing in a great player after a great player. Holiday playing with FC Kansas City. She had an assist on Saturday, 27th of her career, 13th all-time on the assist list. First team All-American from UCLA. A couple of Bruins on this team. Samantha Mewis as well, Sydney LaRue. Defending national champions. And Russia looking to make another sub. It looks like Elena Kostareva has come in. Katerina Pantiukina has left the match. So the 21-year-old, they're bringing on a forward in Kostareva for a forward in Pantiukina. A great crowd here at the Georgia Dome. Really good turnout, a fun night. And the Americans treating them to a great display. They've put 5 on the board, I'll tell you. This could be 8, this could be 9, it could be 10 if a couple of those in the first half had gone in. See if they can net a few more, get a clean sheet. Hope Solo played in the first half. Jill Lloyd in here in the second half. No indication that they can't. There's Holiday. See the space. If you're the Russians, you have to give space. Pick your poison scenario. And we'll see a substitution. Karina Blinskaya the 20-year-old, plays with Rossiyanka. She'll be coming in for Elena Terakova. So you see a bunch of the veterans from Russia leaving the match. Morozova earlier, the 26-year-old who's been on this team for the last 10 years. You now see Terakova, another 26-year-old leaving. It's time to see what you have with the youth as this team tries to qualify for a World Cup. It almost makes it in this particular game more of a daunting task for the Russians to really be able to do something. Here's O'Reilly. Plenty of room again. Rodriguez inside for Wambach. Just a tad off. See Budovic, the captain, gets over, number 19. The tall, lanky defender. And that hits Wambach for the Russian throw. Again, thanks for joining us here on USsoccer.com. I'm Justin Hanover alongside Neil Malone, doing a great job in the booth. Minute number 71. Aaron Heifetz will be on the field with the Budweiser Woman of the Match. It's a tough choice right about now. It'll be interesting to see who they choose. Save somebody else is able to get a second. Many ladies are up for that bidding. Heather O'Reilly certainly. Amy Rodriguez. So we'll see. Megan Rapinoe, Heather O'Reilly. 16,133 in attendance, a record here in the Atlanta area. As we said, the U.S. 7-0 coming in the state of Georgia, never played in Atlanta. But they've also never had 16,000 in attendance. So congratulations, a great showing from the Atlanta fans coming out. Great fans there are here in Atlanta. They support the Atlanta Silverbacks in the championship game of the NASL. If an MLS team eventually comes here, I'm sure there'll be a great following as well. So congratulations to all the fans turning out tonight. You see Mewis walking gingerly. Blinskaya with that throw. And they're going to say Americans ball. Oh, they called a foul. So Mewis with the knock. Not for naught. Sydney Leroux warming up. We'll see if she gets involved a little bit on the scoring end. Here's Kostareva, the 21-year-old, with Kubanachka. She's been there since 2010, since being 17. Rapinoe. Such great touch, Megan Rapinoe. Little 1-2. No, Rodriguez keeps it herself. Rapinoe running off the ball. She'll get a potential shot from distance. And that sails high. Some sheer brilliance right there. Megan Rapinoe, Amy Rodriguez. You see Rapinoe run off the ball. Defender had to recognize that. Rodriguez turning the other way. And had to go at it. Errant pass comes right back to the keeper in Jamanikova, who was very solid in that first half, a little shakier here, allowing 4 goals. Again, it was 1-0 at the break, an own goal in the 12th minute. Gave the U.S. that 1-0 lead. In the 50th minute, another own goal off of Valentina Orlova. In the 52nd minute, Amy Rodriguez from Heather O'Reilly. Then we had Wambach in the 54th, and in the 65th, Megan Rapinoe from Morgan Bryant. Shots right now, 19-3 in favor of the United States. That's not on goal, that's just shots. Not nearly as much, actually, as match number 1, where it was 32-3. Still about 17 minutes, though, to catch up. Brilliant ball up top. Again, O'Reilly, one-on-one. Second defender converges. That's Kostareva. The 1-2. Clumsy in the back. Lloyd. The U.S. will set it up. Again, Rapinoe. The long cross. There's Wambach. She's going to get called for the foul. Abby obviously so good in the air. 41% of her goals now via the head ball as it gets lower. And you see number 2, Sydney Leroux. She'll come in. Amy Rodriguez, a great effort. 75 minutes worth. And Leroux, 14 goals in 2002, the most goals as a substitute in the history of women's American soccer. Born in Surrey, Canada, former UCLA Bruin. She scored a goal in that last match. She made it 5-0. Overall, Leroux, 26 goals in 45 international appearances. So it's amazing the talent you have on that front line. Brilliant 1-2. Rapinoe and Lloyd. And about all Russia could do is just step in front and break it up. And the good trap pulled by the defenders. You see Whitney Engen with the arm up, inducing the offsides. U.S. with one more sub remaining. And again, the officials, you saw Milagros Leonardo on that call. Mark Sorrow, AR number 2. Katia Koroleva, the 4th official. And the center, Melissa Paula Borjas Pastrana from Honduras. Well, that's a great fight from Elena Kostareva, the substitute. Fresh legs. Medved throwing it in. You just see the ease at which the Americans can hold on to possession, and you see how strenuous it is for Russia. Maybe they'll get a second pass, maybe a third. That's been about it throughout. They still have a couple of subs remaining. Holiday. Engen. Here's Mewis. Up top, onside. Zhamenakova comes out and is able to get that one. You see Heather O'Reilly, quality 78 minutes. We'll see if she plays the full 90 or not. Here's Lloyd, normally in the middle. She's going to take it down the side. Leroux trailing. That'll be another corner for the Americans. And we'll see once again Megan Rapinoe, so dangerous on these set pieces. You see Wambach in the middle of your screen. We'll see who gets the assignment. As she pulls out to the 18, she'll make a run. They'll put their big captain, Ksenia Tsiburovic, is on Wambach. 7 corners now for the Americans. Pretty much everyone's been fairly dangerous. Drills it low. Now, I don't think I've ever seen 3 own goals in a game. That one came fairly close. And it's going to set up corner number 8. You see Engen and Lloyd in the area. Wambach will be in there as well. Well, everybody in the area except a couple of defenders. They play it short. Russia's trying to pull out. Here's Sauerbrunn. Set in. Van Hollebeck. Dumped down. Leroux not able to get over there. Back pedals. And again, not much possession for the ladies in red. Little 1-2. Mewis, Wambach. Engen, plenty of room. Rapinoe setting up the triangle. Here's Lloyd. O'Reilly again on the right flank. Rapinoe in support. Lloyd. Inside touch. Holiday. She gets taken down, and it's the call. Lauren Holiday, the great run. We're going to see a little PK action. You see Lloyd flip it in. A great first touch by Holiday. And that is the right call. You see the defender in Makarenko come over. Not in agreement with the call, but that is the right call. And Lauren Holiday looking to finish this thing up for goal number 6. Very happy. 81st minute. Great work by Holiday. Well deserving of the PK. Well deserving of the goal. And the margin now just 1 behind what we saw 5 days ago. You see the replay. Keeper guesses wrong. Goes left. Holiday slides it perfectly with the instep. There's nothing that Shamanikova can do. Textbook PK. Another substitution. You see Wambach leaving the match. Kristen Press, another young gun, a great talent. She's coming in. A couple of goals in that last match. She's only played in 10. She's only played in 14, I should say, and she's netted 10 goals, including 3 times 2 goals in a match. Wambach constantly coaching, telling what's going on in the situation. But Press, a joy to watch. Remember, she had that 20-yard blast against New Zealand a couple of months back. She's also a Stanford product. Had 71 goals for the Cardinal. And she won the Hermann Trophy back in 2010. Going forward, the attack. There's Press. Numbers. The overlap. Rapinoe plays it out wide. Holiday, one-on-one. Rapinoe, cheeky little pass inside to Holiday. Megan Rapinoe just so good on the ball. Mewis. Cross for LaRue, the back post. 7. There's Hayo, Heather O'Reilly. A well-deserved goal for number 9. And lucky number 7 as we've equaled Saturday's margin. The extra point's been put on the board, courtesy of Heather O'Reilly. And you'll see the assist from Kristen Press. She gets ahead on it. And O'Reilly just so quick. Immediately Press enters, maybe off the shoulder a little bit. And O'Reilly, sheer joy in her face on that. So it's now a 14-0 margin in less than 2 matches played. There was talk of wanting more than 7 today. Well, let's see. Here's Press. Just sails it up top. You look at all these folks. Rodriguez and Wambach, the start today. Last week, Press and LaRue, the start. 4 players that could probably start on any nation in this world. And the Olympic Games, obviously, in Sochi. So the Russians not able really to enjoy their home country as they're over here, but they are traveling back to Russia fairly quickly. So we're in minute number 84. 7-0. 6 second half goals. And boy, I'll tell you, there have been some top-notch, world-class goals here for the Americans. No real individual efforts, but brilliant pieces, crosses sent in. As you see, Anna Sinutina, the 25-year-old, getting ready to come in. She'll replace a 29-year-old, so youth coming in for age, Elena Medved. There's Medved leaving the match. This team just keeps getting younger and younger. So they're getting experience, but they're giving up more and more goals. So here's Anna Sinutina. Made her UEFA debut, the Women's Under-19 Championships, a 1-0 win over Slovenia. The cross, maybe the most dangerous Russia's had. Nothing doing though. Jill Lloyden easily gets up there. So now good luck to Sinutina. She's the one that has to deal with O'Reilly. Nobody in these 180 or so minutes has been able to do much with Heather O'Reilly. By the way, I mentioned earlier that run as we see the potential for another goal, and Press puts number 8 on the board. I would say the future of U.S. soccer is alive and well. Kristen Press. Talking about potential for woman of the match. How about playing 10 minutes and becoming such? The great turn, the fake, and the blast from about 13 yards out. Sheer athleticism, speed, skill, and the ability to finish. Rapinoe on the assist. That comes in the 86th minute. So 8 goals today, 7.5 of soccer. You want to talk about putting on a clinic. Rapinoe now with a goal and 2 assists. Sydney Leroux trying to go forward. Just a relentless effort from the Americans. And again, we'll have a post-game interview here with the Budweiser Woman of the Match, Aaron Heifetz. He'll be down on the field. The press officer for the team does a great job, been here forever. Probably knows more about the U.S. women's national team than any 5 combined people on this planet. Press officially a goal and an assist in 5 minutes of work. Been a demoralizing second half here for the Russians. It's one thing to be outclassed. It's another thing to have happen what's going on here. Keeper comes out. And nicely done by Zhemenikova. It's been a rough going. We'll see, I believe, our final substitution. Katerina Dimitrenko leaving the match. And Ksenia Kovalenko, the defender. So a defender for a defender. Not much Sergei Lavrentiev can do. It's been a tough test here in the States. Tom Sermanni about to improve to 16-0-3 as the head coach, as the U.S. looks for another one. Rapinoe down that left side. Holiday back to midfield. Van Hollebeck. Mewis. I think it's become a game of keep away. Don't anticipate much extra time. Not much stoppage time, I wouldn't think. No real injuries, nothing much doing. Here's Rapinoe. Again, thanks for joining us here on USsoccer.com. Final minutes. U.S. up 1-0 at the half on the strength of an own goal. Off a shot by Whitney Engen. Hits the post. Goes off Elena Terakova. Russia holding down well enough. You knew more goals were in the Americans' future. And they delivered. 7 here in the last 44 minutes. Kovalenko, the 18-year-old. Russia, by the way, We haven't seen her, but Elena Andreeva, number 9, is a 16-year-old who just turned 16 in November. Came in very late in that match on Saturday. There's Heather O'Reilly. And O'Reilly officially will be our Budweiser Woman of the Match. She had a goal and an assist. And in moments, we'll be talking to Aaron Heifetz down on the field. So you see Heyo right there. Just could not be stopped down that right side. Not only in this game, but on Saturday as well. A facilitator all night long. Was able to net a goal as well here late. She put in the 7th. A couple of minutes here, 2 minutes added for your stoppage time. I think Coach Lavrentiev probably would like no more minutes. But it's a learning experience for the Russians, as they'll go back, lick their wounds, and try and qualify for the World Cup. Remember, they have a win already on the docket. They were able to down Slovakia. They still play Ireland, Croatia, Slovenia. A couple of points are out there potentially. Here's Press. Great on the ball skills, very tactical. Engen. Van Hollebeck. Engen. Look at all the space. A clinic here from the United States women. Press again, so quick. LaRue. Lloyd. Press going forward. She's in. Saved. LaRue with a chance, and they call the foul. Boy, oh boy. If Kristen could have finished that, you talk about 2 goals and an assist and 10 minutes of work. Final seconds here at the Georgia Dome. The first ever match in Atlanta goes swimmingly for the United States against the Russians. Combined clean sheet potentially. Hope Solo played that first half. Jill Lloyden here in the second. There's Lloyden, she clears it off. It's a matter of moments. Melissa Paula Borjas Pastrana about ready to call it. On this throw, one would surmise. And there it is. So 2 matches in the book, 7-0 on Saturday, 8-0 today. An absolute clinic by FIFA's top-ranked team in the world. 7 second-half goals, and you see there the 8-0 final. The Budweiser Woman of the Match, well, Heather O'Reilly. Well done. You could have picked Megan Rapinoe. You could have picked a plethora of other Americans. And we're going to send it down to the field in a matter of moments. Aaron Heifetz, he's going to be down there with Heather O'Reilly. Also, let's not forget the first appearance for Kelly O'Hara in a year and a half since June with the national team. She does it in front of her family, in front of her fans, the native of Fayetteville, Georgia. So great stuff from Kelly O'Hara, who is back in the mix. An all-around, unbelievable effort by the Americans. You see the Russians there. Nelly Korkovina outclassed. They knew what they were up for after that first game. Outshot 24-4. Just 1 shot in the second half for the Russians. None on goal for the visitors. And the United States with 17 shots on goal. You compare that for that first match, and actually a little more dominant in terms of the numbers in that first match, as it was 32-3, and the shots on goal were 18-1. In the end, though, an extra goal put on the board. 8-0 the United States. We saw that own goal to begin things. Another own goal in the second half. Amy Rodriguez with the first American goal to make it 3-0. And you see the players on the field running over to the fans. Great stuff here in the Georgia Dome. Abby Wambach in the 54th minute made it 4-0. Then we had Megan Rapinoe, everything falling for the Americans. Hit off her head on the Morgan Bryant blast. Lauren Holiday a substitution with that PK off of the Holiday play in the area in the 80th minute. Heather O'Reilly knocks her goal in the 83rd. And then Kristen Press from Rapinoe. And you see Kelly O'Hara right there, as well as Rapinoe. All smiles for the Americans. A job well done. Tom Sermani, now 16-0-3, heading this ship up. The streaks now, 42 matches unbeaten and 80. Yes, that's an 80-game unbeaten streak at home for this United States squad. The last overall loss against Japan, March the 5th, 2012 at the Algarve Cup. That's where the U.S. is going next. And the last home loss, well, you may not remember, but that was back on November the 6th of 2004, a 3-1 defeat to Denmark in the city of brotherly love in Philadelphia. Lauren Holiday, Sydney Leroux, run from almost everybody on this team. Then Hollaback, there's Abby. You want to talk about a well-rounded effort. Unbelievable. 16,133 fans in attendance. We're able to see Sydney Leroux and the rest of the ladies to an 8-0 victory. Great stuff without Alex Morgan, without Tobin Heath. Hopefully they'll be back. Let's send it down to the field. Aaron Heifetz with a Budweiser Woman of the Match, Heather O'Reilly.
Hello, Georgia. Another great night for the U.S. Women's National Team. Tonight, 1 goal, 1 assist, and a whole lot of chaos down the right flank. Heather O'Reilly, your thoughts on tonight's match?
I think we're really proud of how we won tonight. A lot of the goals were fantastic, world-class finishes. We're so happy to be here and to have a result like that for you guys. I know the last couple of days here haven't been awesome with the weather, but we love that you guys made it out to support us. We appreciate that so much. We've loved being here. Hopefully we'll come back here, and hopefully you'll see another win like tonight. Thanks, you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Heather O'Reilly and the world's #1 ranked United States Women's National Team. Thank you, Georgia.
And an 8-0 final it was. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on USsoccer.com. A 1-0 lead at the half, 8-0 in the end. And boy, oh boy, what a great night at the Georgia Dome. The first time the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team has been in Atlanta, and a treat. Whitney Engen off the post, the own goal, hitting Elena Terakova for that 1-0 halftime lead. You see it once again. Russia able to maintain the 1-goal deficit. The crowd excited, out in full force. Megan Rapinoe, the blast early on. But I'll tell you, Maria Zhemenikova up to the task in that first half. Things would unravel, though, as the second half rolled around. The U.S. with 7 goals in that second half. It started off with another own goal, Valentina Orlova. As we see some more first half highlights, Amy Rodriguez with a shot here in the second half. The own goal, Orlova had that red card the other day. And you see it once again off of her left thigh. The cross from Rapinoe. Wambach there, but it did hit the number 3 defender in Orlova. So that made it 2-0 in the 50th minute. Russia's still trying to hang tough. But it was not meant to be on this night for the visitors. As we see over and over the debacle which it would turn into for Russia. In the 52nd minute, finally, the U.S. would get on the board conventionally. Amy Rodriguez from Heather O'Reilly. And you see O'Reilly with a cross. Her defender kept Rodriguez onside. And you just heard O'Reilly talk about the world-class finishes. And yeah, I'll say that was one, Miss Amy Rodriguez, who had a child just recently. And there's Abby Wambach onside for Megan Rapinoe. poor marking, but take nothing away from the two American legends in Rapinoe and Wambach. That would make the score in the 54th minute 4-0. We had a Rapinoe goal in the 65th. Lauren Holiday would get in the box. She was taken down. A well-deserved penalty. She would score. Then we had Heather O'Reilly in the 83rd and Kristen Press. A goal and an assist. She came in the 80th minute. And a great, great night here at the Georgia Dome. 8-0 the U.S. prevails. My thanks to Neil Malone helping me out here up in the press box. Scott Myers, Andy Shefchick, a great job. And the leaders of the U.S. women's national team, Sinway Mendoza and Aaron Heifetz. So once again, from the Georgia Dome, a job well done by all. It was the United States 8 and Russia 0. Have a great, safe night and stay warm.